Have you been thinking, I'd like to regrip my own golf clubs, but I'm not really sure how to do it, or I don't know that I've got the right tools at home? Well, today I'm going to show you how to regrip your golf club at home with stuff you probably already have around the house. So let's go. Hi everyone, it's AJ, the Mobile Club Maker. Thanks for watching the video. As always, if you enjoy it, please like it, share it, or subscribe to the channel down below. So today we are going to talk about regripping your golf clubs at home. But more specifically than that, this video is really for people who maybe haven't done any real club repair work before. People who have thought, you know, I'd like to regrip my own clubs, but I don't quite know how, or even more so, I don't know that I've got the right tools for it, and that maybe keeps them from doing it. So today I'm going to show you how you can regrip your golf club with stuff that you already have around the house. You know, typically a club maker has got all sorts of different tools they can use, be it vices or cutting tools, drilling tools, torches, all these different things that you would use when you're doing club repair, club building. But for most average golfers, they probably don't have that many of these tools. So I thought, you know what, you don't need all these tools. Really, just a few things you can find around the house is going to be all you need. So that's what I'm going to show you today. We're not going to use a vise. We're not going to use a utility knife. We're not going to use any grip tape or grip solvent. This is just stuff that you can probably find around the house very easily. So let's get started. Okay, I've switched over to more of a point of view camera here so you can hopefully get the best view possible of what we're doing in this process. So first off, let's talk about what you're going to need. What are the tools we're going to be using? Obviously, first we're going to need a golf club that needs a new grip on it. And we're also going to need a new grip. So we've got those. From there, we then get into the stuff that you can find hopefully around the house. First thing is going to be some rubber cement. Just plain old simple rubber cement. The second thing, some masking tape. Again, simple, plain old masking tape. It can be the thinner, about inch wide, or it can be the thicker 1 3/4 or 2 inch diameter. Either one of those is going to work just fine. Third, a good pair of scissors, kitchen scissors, utility scissors, anything like that. And last, a wire coat hanger. If you've got these 4 things around the house, you can regrip a golf club. So first off, let's get started with taking off the old grip. Move this stuff out of the way. So to take the old grip off, what I like to do first, and I'm going to use a heat gun here because it's what I have in the shop, but you could use a hair dryer also. Just sort of run the hair dryer or the heat gun over the grip a little bit, warm it up a little, and soften it up. Really only takes about, you can do this for about 30 seconds or so. Just sort of softens up the rubber a little bit, softens up the tape a little bit, and it'll make it simpler and easier to get off. Okay. All right, once we do that, we're just going to sort of peel up a little bit of the end with our thumb, slide the scissors under there, work it up a little bit, make sure you keep your fingers out of the way so you don't cut them, and then just sort of cut into the grip, and you'll get a little cut like that. Now, depending on how old the grip is, some of them are going to come off very easily, some of them are going to put up more of a fight, and you can just sort of work your scissors in like this, and just sort of keep cutting away the rubber. And as you go, then you can just sort of start peeling it up. Once you get it to a certain point, you may be able to just sort of yank on it, and that tear, like you can see, will keep going on its own. We get up to the very top here, we'll kind of peel it back a little bit more. Maybe I'll use the scissors one more time. Again, make sure you keep your fingers out of the way, and just sort of snip, or at least get the rubber started with a little bit of a tear, and then pull it off. That one came off pretty easily. At this point, you now have probably some sort of old grip tape on there. There's a few different ways you can get this off. You could use your knife edge on your scissors or even the back end of it and sort of scrape it off that way, or you can just sort of peel it. Again, what I would recommend doing first though is go ahead and get your hair dryer, get your heat gun, and just sort of run that over the tape. Warm up the glue a little bit. That'll make it much easier to pull it off in bigger strips, and will speed up the process a lot as opposed to trying to do this cold. Okay, I just went ahead and got all the tape off the shaft, so the shaft is basically clean and ready to start the process. So the first thing I'm going to do before I do anything else is I want to go ahead and get this coat hanger situated. Now we're going to be using this coat hanger in a little bit different method. We're going to be using this to help apply the rubber cement to the grip. So what we're going to do is stretch this coat hanger into a long, thin rod, essentially, that will allow us to get some of the rubber cement down into the grip. So we basically want to get it into a straight line that'll again go down inside the grip all the way down to the bottom. Okay, something like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to be a wire coat hanger. You could use a long thin stick that you find out in the yard if it'll fit inside the grip, or you could use a like a bamboo shish kebab type skewer. You could use that just as well. You just want to make sure it's something that will get all the way down towards the end of the grip to make sure we get a good coating of rubber cement. Okay, so I'm going to set that to the side for a minute. I can put these scissors away. We don't need them anymore. First thing we're going to do is we're going to run a layer of masking tape down the length of the shaft where the grip is going to sit. So you can kind of just sort of set the grip up next to the shaft with about 1/4 of an inch hanging off the end there, because there's just pure rubber at the very end, so the shaft doesn't go all the way to the tip. And this sort of shows you how far down it goes. So just above where this old shaft label is sitting is where the grip is going to end. So that's where we want our tape to basically go down to. In this case, because we're using this 1-inch diameter tape, we're going to go ahead and spiral wrap it. If you're using the thicker tape, you could just lay it down the shaft like this and wrap it on both sides and cover the whole thing. But in this case, we're just going to spiral it because that's the tape we have, and this whole video is about using what you've got. So we'll go ahead, start it at about a 45-degree angle, something like that. Start just a little higher like that. And then just sort of work it down in this spiral shape. If you get any little ridges or little bits of tape that are sort of catching up on themselves and making a little bit of a ridge, don't worry about that. Once you get the grip on, you will never feel that, so it's not something you need to worry about. It'll get smoothed out in the process. Okay, so we're almost down, just a little bit further. Right about, we'll go right about to here. We'll go ahead and tear that off. Okay, so we've now got this part of the shaft wrapped. The next thing we're going to do is also get a little more tape, and we're going to wrap it just at the very top. Get about, I don't know, that's about 5 inches or so. And I'm going to wrap it starting here, just so it covers the part of our first roll of tape, and kind of wrap it around, and you can bring it up a little bit higher even towards the butt end, a couple times like that. And then we don't need all this extra, we can tear that off. Once you have this on there like that, we're basically just using this tape to make a little cap for this hole that's right here. We don't want to have that hole there because we don't want rubber cement getting down in there. So we just take that tape that was hanging over the end and just sort of fold it over to cover up that hole in the shaft. Okay, now this is ready to go to the next step, which is the rubber cement. All right, the rubber cement, very simply, first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint the tape with the rubber cement, starting at the beginning of the tape down here and just sort of working our way back towards the butt end, or you can go either direction, it really doesn't matter. You just want to make sure you're getting all of the tape, all of the shaft that's going to have the grip covering it, covered with some of this rubber cement. Okay? Just like this. All right, we've got basically the whole grip now coated. Make sure we coat the very end of it too, where it's going to get started. Okay, notice I've also got this shaft sort of sitting up on this vise piece here, just to keep it from sitting on the counter right here and getting rubber cement everywhere. So just trying to not make a huge mess. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to coat the inside of the grip also with the rubber cement. I like to sort of pinch the inside to start with to get the rubber cement started in there, trying not to make a huge mess, although I've already gotten it on my finger, so looks like that ship has sailed. Started with a little bit like that, and now we're going to take our hanger and we're going to dip this down in here, get some of the rubber cement on that, and we're just going to work it down in here. Okay, we'll get a little bit more. You can either use the hanger to do this, or you can use the brush and then use the hanger afterward. And we're just going to work this all the way. You want to just make sure you get it all the way down to the bottom. Okay, make sure you figure out how far down you need to go. We're going to get a little bit more because I don't think I've gotten all the way down to the bottom yet. Like that, and just sort of work it all the way around. Get it all the way till you bottom out there at the bottom of the grip and all the way at the top. Just like that. At this point, now, I'm just going to put one more little bit right up here at the top just to make sure I get a good start when I put this grip on. And now we're just going to do this freehand. I'm not going to go ahead and put this in the vise or anything. We're just going to see if we can get this grip on just like this. So we're going to go ahead, slide it over the end just like that, sort of at an angle to get it started. And then just work it up onto the shaft just like that. Try and get it as far up as you can. Give it a little wiggle at the end. It's not moving, that means it's all the way on. At that point now we can sort of look at it, make sure that our grip is lined up the way we want it to, wherever you want the logo. If you want the logo up, if you want the logo down, you can put it wherever you want it. Just like that. That looks pretty good. We'll give it a little tap down on the table here. And that's it, just like that. Now this is going to take about 30 minutes to dry. What I would recommend doing, you can see there's some rubber cement on the end of it. Now you could clean that up now if you wanted to try and wipe it off. But honestly, the thing about rubber cement is cleanup is super easy. Let this dry and you can then just sort of peel it off. It becomes obviously rubbery. You can just peel it off. It becomes very simple to clean it up. So I would recommend just leave it like this for the 30 minutes, and then after that, come back, clean it up, and you'll be ready to go. And that's it, start to finish. Okay, so that's basically it. As you can see, that process was pretty darn simple. You know, I've only done this a couple times myself, and you can see how quickly the whole process goes with no quote-unquote real club making tools. A little bit of rubber cement, some masking tape, a pair of scissors, and a wire coat hanger is all we needed to put grips on. So you could do an entire set of clubs using this same method. Hopefully this shows you that if you've been thinking about wanting to get into doing your own club work, you know, it's something you don't need to spend a lot of money on to get started. With some very simple tools, you can do the basic sort of repair work and then progress from there into more advanced club work. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. As always, again, if you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, or subscribe to the channel. And until next time, keep it in the short grass. Thanks.